Hey everyone, it is Erin Chung, and I teach creative agents how to be community influencers so that way they can generate leads on demand and take over local markets. So I'm talking today with India Cleckley. And India, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are, where you're from, and who you serve?
Yes, absolutely. Hello. So my name's India. I'm from Connecticut. I was actually raised on both coasts, so Connecticut and California, but I currently live in Connecticut, and I serve the southeastern Connecticut market. So part of the shoreline and a little bit inwards in the woods, we get a mix of everything.
Okay,
So
awesome, awesome. Tell us what city specifically, in case anyone has any referrals they
yeah.
want to send your way.
Yeah, absolutely. So New London County, so like Groton Sub Base, anybody that's coming in for the Navy. So Groton, Norwich, New London, um, Mystic. If you've heard of Mystic Pizza, that's where we're at down there.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
that's cool.
So yep. So all of that, Stonington areas, and then even up into like Griswold, Plainfield, Windham counties, where Yukon is as well. So,
Awesome, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
So I always like to ask people, you are a member of the Academy. And so I want to ask people, do you happen to remember your journey of how you discovered me? Walk me through that really quickly. I'm
Oh
always
my gosh.
curious.
Yes. Okay. So I remember it because it was over a year ago when I had an interesting start to real estate. So I had to sell the home that I was living in. That was my first sale. And I had to move in with my grandmother.
Oh my gosh.
Start real estate. And I remember I was in my room at my grandmother's house one day, and I was, um, you know, I knew that I had to make it work, and I was in my room at my grandmother's house one day, and I followed this coach online named, I don't know if you know Tyler Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually followed him online, and I was doing some of his stuff on YouTube, and you popped up. And I was like, wow, let me see what's going on here. And the first video I watched, I was just like, oh, jaw dropped. I was like, this is amazing. Oh my God. I obviously need to know what's going on here. So I basically started following it. And at the time, I was so excited. I had started doing stuff. And then when I found out that you had Lead Strategy Academy, I was like, oh my God, yes, I can't wait. I need to join. And I had to go on the wait list. And I was like, I was checking my email every day. I was just like, okay, is today the day? And I actually was on a road trip the day that I got the email, and with my daughter, my teenage daughter, and I was like, we're pulling over. I'm in the club. So, and I signed up that day, and that was how I discovered you. Yeah.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
actually remember the day that you came into the Facebook group. I don't know why. I just remember it
Follow
for
my
some reason.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad to have you. So that's amazing.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about what was life like, what was business like before you joined the Academy? Just give us an overall
Yeah.
picture of where you started and where you came from.
Yeah. So what I have loved the most about Lead Strategy Academy, because anybody who does real estate full time or, as their primary business knows that you are running a business, you are self-employed. And what I love about, you could say independent contractor, but really you're self-employed. And
Mhm.
um, what I love about Lead Strategy Academy is it gives me, or community influencer, and I have a method now. I have a strategy is how to generate business, and it's fun. It's fun, and it makes sense. I did really well when I first started real estate, but I was doing things old school. I was cold calling, expires. I was door knocking. I was doing those things, and you're putting in a lot of work. And what I did like about it is that you're able to build a relationship with someone from bottom to top, from start to finish. And this allows you to do the same thing. I haven't had to compromise building a relationship with anybody. In fact, I feel like it helps me develop more of a relationship before I even get to meet the people that I get to work with. So before starting my business, was, especially when it came to lead generation, it was just a struggle. It was a struggle to make sure that I could still operate my business and sit down every day and make expired calls and, and structure my business around those methods. But now I have a fun way, something I look forward to doing, and something that's so effective. So, yeah.
I love that. What I think is like, oh my gosh. Okay. So like most of you guys who are going to watch this know that like when I first started this business, one of the reasons why is because I was door knocking and got kicked out of my own community door knocking. And so at that point I was like, I'm so done with this.
Yeah. It's embarrassing.
It is. It's like and honestly, like, I mean, like looking back, like I was embarrassed while I was doing it. And that was just like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So like some people can be amazing door knockers, like not going to knock anyone who does it, but like your marketing has to feel congruent and in alignment with you. And like, I feel like, cause like what I heard you say is like when you were cold calling expires and those type of things, like that works brilliantly for a lot of people. But like, if that doesn't feel right to you, it's not going to work because you're always going to feel odd, weird, and awkward while you're doing it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love people. It's just so hard when you're coming at them from an angle that they're not comfortable with, and this this is a way to break the ice before you even have to try to talk about business,
Yeah. I mean, you had mentioned before about relationships and like, I think that's so powerful because it's like when, as a realtor, it's like relationships is the biggest marketing tool that you have, right? And like, it's so hard to do that. Like you mentioned, like if you're cold calling and door knocking, it's just really difficult to do that. And so that's why, I mean, for me, and I hope you would agree, but like, I feel like that's why community marketing is so impactful because like you said, like you can have a relationship with people. And at the end of the day, like that's what this is about. I feel like you're helping people with their most intimate and expensive purchase. And like, you need a relationship with those people first. So
it's very true. One of the agents I most look up to in my office, she's a phenomenal agent. She sold a very prominent celebrity her home. Fantastic woman. And she says, you always want to act as though you're handling someone's most precious investment. And I think the fact that we are doing that and then trying to come in with these old methods and be like, you should totally trust me. I'm totally, the realtor that you want to work with. It doesn't line up. It doesn't line up to what we're trying to portray. And I think you have a better opportunity to be like, hey, listen, you can trust me because you trust me for other things and you trust me for, or you feel like you can trust me for other things, which is great. And it just opens up the door to be able to say like, hey, I'm more than willing to take care of your most important investment as well as develop this great relationship with you. So,
well, I feel like for someone like you, you are very like an extremely personable person. You come off so good on camera. Okay, like this, I have to say this. So like India posted in the group like the most amazing video of she spotlighted a local like it was a local hotspot that she did and like it was her first video, wasn't like your first
it's my first video. I did this because of you and because of because I was like, how can I approach these businesses and do something that is of value to them and build relationships? And I was like, I know what I can do. But I'm terrified of something like this is fine because, you're a goddess. But something like this is fine, but I'm terrified of like being on camera and, and I didn't think social media was my strong point. So, but yeah.
It is like this, like, oh my gosh, like it's crazy because, and I mean, this has been my experience too, is like, I didn't know, like people talk about all the time, like, oh, like, you're good on camera or whatever. And I'm like, what? No, like, what are you talking about? Like,
you're great.
But I think thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a lot of practice. I think it's like the more you do it and the more you actually just put yourself out there, the better you get. Like I look at some of my old videos, like even when you said that you found like a video from the past, I was like cringing internally because it's like, oh my God, I hope it wasn't one of the bad ones. Like,
no, none of them are bad. None of them are bad. And like, I think part of it is too, and I think as we do more of these, I'll be able to be a little bit more like raw.
Yeah.
but I think part of it is it's nice for people to get to see that you're just a human. That's what they want. Yeah. You're
Yes.
just a person. You're just a person. And I think that's the great part. Yeah.
Yes. I did a video with Karen Carr, and she's like the real estate queen when it comes to video.
I
And
know who
like,
she is. I watched her
yes.
interview. I'm studying all this stuff. I've had to.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. And it's
She
like what she was talking about, which is I think is so true, is like, especially when you do video, that you give, like you mentioned, a people like an opportunity to actually get to know you, to see that you're a real person, a human. And like what I love about like most of the video strategies and a lot of the stuff that I teach in the academy, and she was an academy member as well, but it's like you get to get leads and get phone calls that are come list me. And like, I think that's so amazing because the person already knows you. They feel like they can know, like, and trust you already because you've already built that. So I feel like you kind of start your listing presentation 6 months prior to like when you actually get the call.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And by the time you get that call, like it's just welcome in. All right, take a look. What do you think? And it's like make yourself at home. And there's no interview process. They're not feeling you out or trying to figure out if you're who they want to use. They've already made up their minds. And that's,
I love
what more
that.
could you ask for?
Yes. Oh my gosh. As a realtor, like to not feel like you're chasing people and like hunting people down, because I felt uncomfortable with that. And this way is I was able to like market my business in a way that I felt comfortable and I felt congruent. So like, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So
if you hadn't listened to your inner voice, where would we all be? It's true.
Thank you. Talk to me about Brenna.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. So my accountability partner, Brenna. Hi, Brenna. Okay. So yes. So that was another thing I was super nervous about. I don't know how many months ago, but I had signed up to get an accountability partner and missed my notification that I got an accountability partner. So I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm not ready for an accountability partner. I don't know. But then the email came through and I was like, you know what? I need this because I was stuck. I was just stuck on and this just goes to show you too, how effective this is. Like I'm still in the beginning phases. I'm still in phase 2. So I was like, okay, let me just get an accountability partner and see, and maybe I can encourage them. And I got matched up with the perfect person. I have a business partner. His name's Patrick. He doesn't do any computer stuff. He's wonderful. He just doesn't do any of this stuff. So I'm really in charge of it. And and she happens to have a business partner who's her husband. And Patrick is like my work husband. So it was like, she understood, she understood exactly what, we were going through. And from the first time we talked, we were just like, ready to encourage each other. And she has been amazing. And even as we got busy, she still was able to check in on me. And I wish I had, I tried to check on her as much as possible, but, I just wish that I just want to be there to support somebody the way that I feel like, you should. And it's just great to have somebody to check in with. And she and her husband got through their goals, I believe, for the month. And I pushed through a lot of mine because for me, it's just so hard. The hardest part is just carving out the time to sit down and get it done. And that's why I've been stuck in these phases, but I'm not quitting. I keep going at it. And every time I get a little bit further and a little bit further. And Brenna has helped me get to where I am now. And I shared the video with her first. I was like, oh, we did this for the local hotspot. And I was like, Brenna, I'm terrified to post it. She's like, post it. And I was like, okay. So if it weren't for her, I probably would have chickened out, to be honest with you. After all the work we did to get the videos and, get the video made and everything. Final push.
I actually never talk about this, but I don't know why I should. I don't know. I never talk about this, but I have an accountability partner, and we met in Toronto at a conference last year, and to see where our businesses have come, from last year to now, we were only let's just try it out for a couple of weeks and see how it works. And still over a year later, she still calls me on Saturday, oh my God, what do you think about this? And it's so good to have someone to be able to bounce ideas off of, and someone who really knows what you're going through and like all the things
Yes.
that you're learning and all of that stuff. And so like
Yes.
we take courses together all the time. Like I'll purchase a membership and she will too, or whatever. We'll go through
Yeah.
everything together. And it's like, it's so amazing to have someone who really understands. And like you said, like there have been times where I'm like, nope, not going to do it. And then it was like the best thing ever for the business. And she was the one who encouraged me. So I need to talk about that more because accountability partners are so important to like everything. And if you don't have one, you absolutely should get one.
Yeah.
Like that's like, it has been the biggest change in my business that's moved the needle since
Yeah.
last year was having an accountability partner.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And I've seen your business taking off because I see how many other people are just like, I just love it. I love seeing that this is possible for anybody from all different backgrounds as far as real
Yeah.
estate goes. And I love that. I love that. And it really is a community. You're building a true community. So.
And for anybody who happens to come across this, like if you need encouragement, I just want to tell you, when I had the idea to do this, and I asked a few realtors and I said, hey, like my friends, like my colleagues and spouses of friends, and I'm like, hey, do you think this is going to work? And like, I kid you not when I tell you, like everyone said no.
I know, yeah.
And I was like, okay. So then I just decided, like, I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's a dumb idea. Like, I'm not going to do it.
Oh my God.
And now we have the largest online learning community in the world. So like, I feel like, you know,
win.
And I'm like, oh, and they're like, oh, how's business? And I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like,
yeah.
You know, I feel like it's like, please, like if you feel like there's something on your heart, like you have to do it. And you just really have to like keep pushing through. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, like it's better to try and have failed than to never try and to wonder, like, should I have done that? Could that have moved the needle in my business? Right?
Yes. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I completely agree with you. It's honestly the people who pursue those no's, you'll ask anybody. You could ask anybody. I've asked so many people questions and like, you know, do you think this would be, oh, I don't think we don't, especially here. We're in Connecticut. I hate to say it, but everything moves West Coast to East Coast.
Yeah.
So, you know, doing things differently really helps you stand out. But if you were to ask the realtors here, they would do any of this, I mean, I know realtors who are not, and more power to them if that's the way they want to run their business, but are not even on Facebook. So if you were to ask like some of the realtors and other things that I work with, you know, if they thought any of this would be a good idea, they would shake their heads and say the same thing. Oh, come on. No, absolutely not. You know, so I completely agree, but it's chasing those ideas and putting 100% into them. That's what pays off. I mean, being a realtor for me was just an idea when I was 18, and I finally did it, and I love it. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny because like, I'm here on the West Coast, as you know, and like, when you said that, I thought about somebody where they like, it's one of our friends, my husband's friend, his mom is a real estate agent. She's been a realtor for God, like, I don't know, 30, 40 years or something.
Amazing.
We had sat down with her and I told her what I did and all that stuff. And she was like, wow. She's like, I actually just retired from real estate because I saw all of this stuff coming. And she said, I didn't want to take the time to learn it. And so I just knew it was time to like call it a day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. Like,
yeah.
So you're really smart to like at least get ahead of the curve on a lot of this stuff because
smart. Thank you. Like, no, thank you.
It's coming, you know?
Yeah. But thank you for providing us with the tools to be able to use it and a system to be able to use it, because there's total, like a bunch of ways to randomize it, but this is a system and a strategy that works so effectively. And you can tell you put so much energy and time into these tools.
Because I love you guys. I do.
Thank you. And I don't know if you remember, Erin, but even before I was a part of Community Influencer, like even before I got off the wait list and into the club, I emailed you and just said thank you. And you responded so genuinely. You're like, I honestly, the only thing I want to do is help. And I was like, I can feel it. I can feel it coming through. that's how I felt. I was like, this is like what I've needed. This is it. And so thank you for everything you've done. You could tell how much time you put into this. Yeah.
Thank you. I actually remember that email, and when you said that, it clicked. I'm like, that's why I remember when you came into the group. Like, we had already talked beforehand. Like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Is there anything else that you want to like add, or anything else before we go ahead and close out?
Honestly, all I can say is I think, first of all, Brenna, thank you so much, genuinely. And I think the only other thing I want to add is, if you're in this, because a few months ago I decided like, I'm going to jump into this with both feet. And so like, if you're in this and you're at the beginning phases and you're having trouble, carving out the time, because of whatever, life, family, you're busy. Both Brenna and I are moms, but we're doing it and we're making it happen. Keep going, because just with one video posted, not only were we able to build this relationship with this business, but I've had other realtors coming up to me like, wow, oh my God. And then but we also are exposing ourselves to a bunch of other new people, you know what I mean? And then with our posts being more consistent, it's putting us out there. So keep going. You can do this. You can do this. You make it possible for us, Erin. So thank you so much.
I love your personality. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Like, you are such a bright light. Like, anyone who wants to work with you is privileged to work with you. Like, you are such a good person, like in the Facebook group, and you're always so like nice and sweet. And like, I'm so thankful. And like I said, when I saw your video, I was so proud of you. I was proud of you. And I'm just so happy to have like such amazing people like you in the group. So thank you so much, India, for everything that you do. And I really do appreciate you.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, have an amazing and productive week. And like I said, I'm so proud of you, and I'll see you in the Facebook group soon.
Yay. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.